Smart 24, driving business.
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. Welcome to the Fidelis Leadership Institute FAT Talks that come to you every Thursday on Smart 24, that is live, on YouTube, on our Spaces, and we welcome you to this edition of the FAT Talks. My name is Nanza, your host for today, and we hope you will stick with us for a very, very insightful conversation. This is the FAT Talks, where we have conversations that matter. And in today's conversation, like the many we've had before, I'm as excited for the topic as I am for the guest. We are going to talk about turning ideas into action. And I couldn't be more excited than to have a person who has lived and walked this talk at a very young age. He's breaking ceilings. He calls himself, he says he's not young, but he will confirm that in a bit. And the only befitting introduction I can give to our guest, Isaac Bakash, is a big dreamer and a bold go-getter, in his own words. Welcome to the show, Isaac.
Thank you, Naza, for hosting me.
It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So tell us about yourself. I can't even try to describe who Bakash is. So let me not butcher your very big CV and allow you to introduce yourself to our audience this evening.
I actually don't have a big CV, but anyway, but my name is Isaac Wakashava. I'm a team lead and founder at Bakash Media Foundation. I'm a youth leader. Yeah, that's what I can introduce myself.
Thank you, Isaac. Isaac is being very modest, but the word that we are going to hold him accountable to this afternoon and into the evening is the word social entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you agree you are a social entrepreneur?
Yes, yes, yes.
We've been hearing about entrepreneurship and all we thought is just drop out of school, drop everything, rebel against the system, start something in the garage or at the back of a mango tree and have a very sad story, and then you're an entrepreneur.
No.
But over time, we are now hearing words like social entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes.
So from first principles, Isaac, what is social entrepreneurship to you so that our listeners and viewers can appreciate that?
Social entrepreneurship, I think in simple terms, these are ideas that are created in a society to create impact. When you come up with a solution to create an impact in the society, what you're doing basically is social entrepreneurship, bringing communities together for impact. That's how I think in simple terms you can define what social entrepreneurship is. It's an investment where you really have to put in resources, time and effort for you to have results, for you to create impact. It's not for profit like we do for business. You don't know if you do business. But for it, it's not for profit. We basically do it for impact and create change in the society. So I think in simple terms, if you can get, that's what social entrepreneurship, I understand it.
Thank you very much, Isaac. I'm curious, as must be many of our listeners in the audience, you use the word impact.
Yes.
And if we were to put this on the scale of a timeline, social entrepreneurship is a relatively new phenomenon. Maybe it's the nomenclature, but in the times that we live with economic hardship, What has been your experience in traditional entrepreneurship as we know it, vis-a-vis social entrepreneurship? Because everybody wants to make an impact, but maybe there are limitations and constraints.
Yes, yes.
So with your own journey, kindly let us know how, and even why you chose social entrepreneurship as opposed to the traditional one.
Well, my story is quite an interesting one, and I think I'm still writing it. I've just started actually, because it's been now 4 years when we started our work at Bakash Media Foundation when I was still at Macquarie. But basically our journey, what we are doing at Bakash Media is typically social entrepreneurship. All we do is for the impact in the society, but what we majored in is first the challenge that I identified, which affected me as well when I was at Macquarie. I had many young people from our village, which is in Nakaseke, who were graduating but had no jobs at all. And these people did good courses, art courses, both sciences, but they had no jobs. And the main challenge there's that mismatch. I hope you know it, the mismatch between what we are learning in class in universities and what you employers want. So there's that mismatch, and that's why many people, or many young people, don't have the jobs as we are looking for them. So that was the challenge that I identified in my village and even around the environment here in Uganda. Being it's a young population, many young people don't have jobs. So that mismatch was really visible, and it is still. So that's what we are talking at Bakash Media. So what we're doing, or what we came up with, was creating, bridging the gap between employers and young professionals to let them know that, okay, here we are, we have our degrees and what, but you people in the employment sector, what you want is not what we studied. So how can we really bridge that gap? How can we be of help? So we started Bakash Media with that, and that's what we are majoring in. Social entrepreneurship, bringing young people together to network with industry experts. So that's what we are doing, basically.
Thank you, Isaac. He's being very modest with his journey, but like he said, he has started writing. So hopefully he will reveal it to us in its full grandeur at a time.
Yeah.
And for those who are joining us, this is Fat Talks by the Fidelis Leadership Institute. They come to you every Thursday live on Smart 24, on our Space and YouTube. We are discussing a very important topic on ideas and turning them into action. And what Bakash has just done for us in the first few minutes is to confirm how entrepreneurship as we know it is moving from traditional to social entrepreneurship. He has also revealed that he's the bold go-getter from Nakaseke. And he's giving us a good perspective from a bottoms-up person who has walked the journey.
Yeah.
Isaac, one of the things you kept saying, young people,
yes,
young people. That seems to be your focus, and that is where you seem to have identified the gap.
Yes, yes.
Please share with our audience what you have seen are the obvious differences in the way young people do entrepreneurship. And as we know it traditionally, it could be a Gen Z millennial thing. So you probably have had first-hand engagement with young people. How are they doing things differently, especially with the goal of impact?
Great. So these are interesting times of the Gen Zs, and comparing them with what the millennials have been doing work, it's totally different. And if you cannot adapt to what Gen Zs are doing or how they are executing their work, we are totally going to be left behind. Gone are the days when someone maybe needed an entire marketing department to have the brand out there to promote whatever, is it a product or it's a service, and you have the entire marketing department. But a Gen Z will just go on his laptop, go on one of the social media apps, let me say TikTok or Instagram, and just put there the brand out, and you'll get, like, you'll reach out to millions of people in just a blink of an eye. So the times have changed, and how young people are approaching work is so different, and it's interesting. And that's what we have to adapt, because these new technologies and trends, if we don't adapt to them, the evolution of AI and how COVID introduced us to the new normal of working from home, the hybrid, having everything done online. If we don't adapt to it, then we either adapt or perish. That's what I can say. But these are the times that we have to adopt these new technologies. And I'm glad some universities are adapting that. They are having now AI courses to see how they can help their students adapt to the new technologies. You don't have now lessons to have to go to class and write on a chalkboard. Everything is digitized, so you don't have to really go through, and students also don't have to be there physically in classes and what. So the times have changed, and in the workspace, mostly in social entrepreneurship, if you want to reach out to 1,000 audiences in a bit, probably you have to adapt to the new technologies and on how. And now, I think Bakash Media, what we're now planning to do is how we can localize the use of these new tools, the new technologies or AI, into these entities or the students and the audience that we work with. Because what we've been doing, one of our programs is career guidance, mentorship, and skill development. So those are the things we major into. We do trainings, we hold workshops, we do placement program. Currently, we are doing it with Innovation Village and MasterCard. So you have to reach out to many people as possible. And how will you do that? This is just leveraging on these tools, the social media tools, which was not the case way back, where you have to drive to Kasese or to drive to Mbara and find a university, bring students together. But here you'll create a portal, put out a call, and you'll get people from all over the continent that will subscribe to your work and what you're doing. So I believe how young people are approaching work is something interesting that everyone should adapt and to really have the effective, efficient outcomes and in all the work they are doing.
Thank you again, Isaac. We hear you, our audience and listeners, are hearing you talk about the bright side of innovation, of the young people and their methodology.
Yeah.
You even called millennials old, meaning there's clearly a gap. Just when I thought millennials and Gen Zs would be in a comparable range, but that is to ask. There is an old adage that old is gold.
Yes, yes.
Are we therefore advocating for complete obliteration of the old wisdom?
No,
What
no.
is the correlation? Because when you say the goals of Bakash is mentorship, skills development, who is mentoring except for the people who have walked the journey? And what if they are not as adept and adapted to the AI? Do we just forget about them?
No, actually, I did mention this, but we cannot survive without millennials. We set the standards. I mean, no one, we cannot learn from anyone if we're not learning from the millennials. Because all what we are doing, we are building from what they set. The systems they set, the teachings, even if you go back in our traditional ways of the families, if you see how our fathers were running their families and how they were really handling things, it's something we have to learn to in order to see how we can bring in our new innovations and the technology in whatever we are doing. For example, my father is a peasant. He has really been looking after cattle for his entire life, and it's what really has helped us. Yes, it has helped us to go to school, and so now here we are. We want also to go into farming and do that, but in a modernized way. You know, I will have to bring power the farm. I have to bring water at the farm. I have to do zero grazing and then use feeds, animal feeds and everything to really see that I increase productivity, maybe in milk or fattening or something. But they never used to do that. But if you don't know the principles of looking after cows, then you'll never benefit from these new technologies, or you cannot adapt with these new trends that are coming in. So we have to work with the millennials. We have to bridge that gap, because also millennials have to learn new things from us, the Gen Zs, the new technologies that have come up. So that gap, because there's a gap, even if you see now politics or leadership, millennials don't want to work with the Gen Zs. I feel they see they are competing them, and their work is so hard to, maybe they cannot compete with us. So, and if we create that gap, probably we shall have a challenge in whatever we are doing. So I think the best way, Nanza, like you asked me, is to see how we can harmonize and work together to see how we can have a great output.
Thank you again, Isaac. You have clearly exemplified the necessity for merging the two generations. One can't do without the other.
Yes.
And other than the myth that one is old and obsolete, they still have relevance in as far as innovation and entrepreneurship is concerned.
Yes, yes.
Listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us for the FAT Talks by Fidelis Leadership Institute, where we have conversations that matter. Today we are discussing about turning our ideas into action, and we have the bold dreamer from Nakaseke, Isaac Bakashava, in the studio. Isaac has told us about social entrepreneurship. He has told us about the differences between how young people are innovating, and of course he had made the connection that there is a need to have a transfer, a back and forth between the old and the new entrepreneurship styles. What we are going to discuss next is the actual action steps of turning ideas into innovation.
Sure.
We have had speaker after speaker, writer after writer, researcher after researcher, telling us that idea generation is probably the easiest part. Anybody can come up with an idea.
Yeah, sure.
In your own experience, what has been or what is being done differently to give it that extra step that we only don't stop at generating the ideas, but we bring them into action?
All right, thank you so much, Nanza. I think we are tackling really the real challenges that young people, the ones I work with, are facing currently. Bringing ideas to life is basically what you're talking about. How can young people with very brilliant ideas bring them to reality? This is what I think is happening, and you may sit down for a night and have like 100 ideas, and you're putting them on paper, conceptualizing them, but how do you really turn them into reality and see how you can execute them? So this is the troublesome time that everyone faces as a young entrepreneur. Back then at university, after identifying the challenge I told you of youth unemployment, I said let's develop a platform where we can foster these discussions of young people and employers. How can we, first of all, build capacity, build skills, and then see how that people from the other end, the industry leaders, can connect with these young professionals who are just fresh from university. They have degrees, but they have no skills. So that idea generation was done. So now to start, of course I had nothing. I was just my second year student at Macquarie. I didn't have money at all. So first of all, you have to start, regardless of however much you have money or you don't have it, you have to start. So that's where most young people fail. They have all these ideas, they will be just talking about them, say, okay, I have this idea, what can we do? And it stops there. But if you take that bold step and say, I'm going to tackle this challenge, and I've started now, then what should I start with? Who am I going to start with? So, for example, at Macquarie, I had a colleague called Bruno, who is our co-founder at Bakash Media Foundation. He's the first person I reached out when I had this idea. I told him, this is the challenge, and how can we help young people to really navigate this workforce environment? And since then, we've never looked behind. We started with no coin, nothing, but reach out to the audiences, got in touch with the right people, and 4 years down the road, I think we've done some great milestones. So what most young people face is that first for them to start. Well, how can I start? Because of course they believe that first for someone to really bring an idea to life for a business or any social enterprise, you must have money, which is not the case. Our ecosystem doesn't fund young entrepreneurs to that extent, at that level of idea. So you really have to start for them to see that, okay, you're now capable and you can really bring something. So in this ecosystem, what, of course, I always tell young people is start. You never know who will see your work, who will appreciate it, either the government or people in the private sector who will help you to maneuver all these things. Because I know there are many challenges that are facing those regulatory hurdles, then the lack of course funds, lack of the right mentorship, where you have to be guided. What am I tackling? Is this the right challenge? Is this the right solution that I should really come up with, solve this challenge? How should I do it? The objectives and all that detail. You should have the right mentorship, and of course networks, which are so much crucial, because if you don't have money, at least you should have the networks that can help you to bring you up and bring your ideas to life. So bringing the ideas to life requires young people to have, one, the zeal to start, then to connect with the right people, the like-minded people, and to see how they can really build their capacity. They can mentor them, build the networks, and also over time get them resources for them to do the work. Because if you don't have money, social enterprise is really hard in Uganda. It's so complicated. You'll give up, and you're right, because you have to survive. You have the reality of life, you have bills to take care of, you have everything back, and then you really have to support the team, you have to bring ideas to life, you have to do activities and grow the idea. So yeah, I think that's what I can briefly say about that.
Thank you, Isaac. You have given us the nitty-gritty of turning an idea into an actionable project or entrepreneurship. We appreciate the fact that you have said there is no shortage of ideas, especially amongst the young people, but the courage, you called it boldness, to start without the basics, basically.
Yeah.
You have shared your own journey, how you start with a friend and basically took the bold step to start.
Yeah.
But you've also noticed the power of social networking.
Yeah.
Basically, your social network is a direct bearing on your network.
Yes, yes.
Is that correct?
And that has been my biggest, I think.
That has been your biggest gain in those social entrepreneurship journey.
Yes.
Those who are joining us, it is the Fidelis Leadership Institute. Conversations that matter. We have Bakash Isaac from Bakash Media Foundation, sharing a bit of his journey, turning his idea into an action that has grown bigger than him. I think it has a, tell us a little, how big, how far, how wide is Bakash?
Idea. Knowing what Nanza has told you, her experience, you may think it has just been a bed of roses, but if Nanza tells you her challenges that she has navigated to get where she is, you really know that you're not exceptional. You go through that process and you'll make it like how she did. So that's what we do. We create that platform where young people can exercise their capacity, can come and learn with these industry leaders that have made it and who inspire them in our society, in the society every day. So we have had many milestones. We've published magazines where we have been able to have that literature documented, and our students and our community members have been able to benefit from it. We've built that community of where young innovators have been able to go out there and started businesses and gotten scholarships and gotten employment. We have testimonies. We had students at Makerere who graduated in January who went through our trainings, and men, they are making it out there. So we believe in the last 4 to 5 years, we've really had a huge impact, and we're still creating and the impact and still on the journey. Actually, we've just started because this year, I'm sure it's going to be great for us. The next, because we have a 5-year plan, we're just launching. So the next 5 years are going to really be amazing on our side. And I'm glad our community has walked us through with this journey, and they're going to see something great that we've always been planning with them.
Thank you very much, Isaac, for your open and honest conversation regarding innovation, especially with young people, a subject that is very close to you. Dear listeners and viewers, this is Fidelis Leadership Institute FAT Talks. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with part 2 of this very insightful conversation with the bold go-getter from Nakaseke.
Smart 24, driving business.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Everyone has a favorite housemate, and the power to keep your favorite in Big Brother's house is by voting. They need your vote each week, and here's how. You can vote on the website or mobile site. You can also vote using the My GoTV app. The higher your GoTV package, the more votes and power you get to keep your faves in the game. Voting opens every Monday and closes every Thursday. Vote now to save your faves from eviction and keep them in Biggie's house. Big Brother Niger, no lose guard. Rated 18. Brought to you by gold sponsor Guinness. Black shines brightest. Yeah.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family, be a leader, be magic.
Smart 24, driving business.
Good evening once again, listeners and viewers. Welcome back to the Fidelis Leadership Institute for Talks, where we have conversations that matter and we bring you guests and friends and very important people who come to discuss with us things that matter. In today's conversation that matters, we are discussing turning ideas into action, and we have Isaac Bakashaba, founder of Bakash Media, in the studio, who has done a very good job of taking us through social entrepreneurship as opposed to traditional entrepreneurship in as far as young people are concerned. Isaac has openly discussed the challenges, the benefits, the risks, and the nuances around social entrepreneurship. Having walked the journey himself, he's not just talking from outside in. His journey from second year with barely nothing to now an organization that has trained close to 2,000. He's skilling, with his team, they're skilling youth and enthusiastic young people. Isaac, we'll talk about what young means in entrepreneurship. Is it age or the time I start business? Because we have retirees at 50. So do they also qualify? But before we get into that, I would like to pick the conversation from where we left off, when you were talking about how many you've skilled. You talked about graduating students, MasterCard help. And the question that I have, and our listeners might have, in the first part we say millennials and Gen Zs don't speak eye to eye when it comes to idea generation, methodology, execution, work ethic. Yet there's a bit of mentorship and skilling. So what are the unconventional skill sets, if I can call it that you see in these young people, and where are you getting their mentors if the old people don't have them? For example, I now know the need for a brand strategist, or what do they call it? Image branding specialist. My sister has been convincing me to hire one, to pay someone to do my personal branding. So those rare skill sets. Where are you getting skills? Where are you getting mentors? What's your experience? What are the unconventional skills now that young innovators have to have?
Yeah, maybe also for context, those who may not know what unconventional maybe careers. These are careers that are out of the traditional trajectory. Let me say maybe lawyers, doctors. Those are the traditional careers we all know. But talking of the unconventional careers, these are the the carriers that have come up with the new, with the industrial revolution, how technologies over time have changed and are evolving. So getting their mentors, yes, but also there are millennials who have adapted to the new technology. So they have been able to cope up with the Gen Zs and they are able to offer that mentorship. And also among the Gen Zs, there are those that have really mastered that skill. Careers maybe in the digital world where you do the graphics, all that where they fall. All those Gen Zs have mastered them, and we have, for example, we've been partnering with members at NBS. There is their head of marketing called Danzi. He's so great in the digital space. Anything that requires the digital, all those digital set skills, he's really good and he can mentor all the young professionals that we work with. And he's a Gen Z, I guess he's still a Gen Z. But over time, if millennials adapt to these new technologies, I think they will be able to offer this guidance and mentorship to these young professionals. And what you asked earlier about if
The
our
age.
work, yes,
The
yes.
age of, and what defines
Consider-
young? Is it the age on the birth certificate or the age at the time? How old is my business or my idea?
So what we do, we deal mostly with undergraduates and graduates. So these are the people who mostly fall under from 18, let me say, to 35. So we majorly, that's our audience, and that's what we've been working with over time. But it doesn't stop there. We work with entrepreneurs who have young businesses or who have just started business or who are transitioning from maybe full-time careers or employment, and they are starting their businesses. They are bringing them to life. So also we deal with such people regardless of their age.
Or their age and everything.
Yes, yes.
Because
They have
Colonel
young
Sanders
businesses.
was 62 when he started.
Yes.
So if you came to Bakash and you told him, man, just go and enjoy your village,
I know.
we would not have KFC.
I
So
know.
please clarify for our audience what a young person is and what a young entrepreneur is, so that people can be sure they can come to you.
So we do two things. For young entrepreneurs or young professionals, we consider the time you're from university and the time you're done, you're going into the career field. So we help you in realizing what your passion is and how you can identify your career, because as I told you earlier, there is a mismatch of what we are studying and what we are willing to learn. So young people mostly are influenced by several factors, maybe their parents who want them to pursue different courses, and then yet young people also have different dreams and they would like to pursue. If a young person maybe wants to be, for example, wants to be into communication, wants to do journalism and be on TV or production, but their parents are influencing them to do law and be a lawyer. So definitely it will not work out. They may do the law and get the degree, but then what's after? So we help young people to realize, to follow their passion. So we train them into that. Okay, you're a lawyer, but now you want to pursue a dream in journalism. What do you need? You need the skill. You need the right people. You need the right mentors. So we help young people from investing in that. Then for people with young businesses or with ideas that are bringing to life. Maybe they're
Later in their age, but the
Yes.
idea is young.
Yes. So we help them to connect them to opportunities. We help them in resource mobilization. We help them in going through all this, how they call it, the regulatory hurdles where you have to register your businesses. Most of them don't know how to register the businesses, taxes. So how to deal with those regulators is something maybe they don't know, and how can they really know about that? It's what we are providing. The information, that information gap that they lack. Maybe they have not been having it in their previous companies. We find someone does a 24-hour job and they go home, so they don't know how to register a young business. They don't know where to get funds. They don't know where to, the spaces to tap into, the right people to talk to. So we help those people in that caliber also. So, and I think in the next month we're organizing a stakeholder engagement where we want these regulators to come on table with young entrepreneurs, people with businesses, to say, okay, now these are the challenges, how can we maneuver through this, and how can we grow our companies together, because we face a lot of challenges, mostly during paying off taxes, registration. We lack those basics, and which are so crucial during growth, which are so crucial when for fundraising, looking for money. Because if you don't have them, definitely
The funders may not deal with
yes,
you.
they will not take you serious. So those the legal nitty-gritties, the formalization of the process, building structures of the team and everything is something that we help entities and young entrepreneurs to know. So that information, that knowledge gap, that is what we help to build on for young bodies.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Thank you for that emphatic response regarding a bit of formality, even though we are going innovation. And that brings us to our next segment or section about the work ethic for how young innovators work. There's been a misconception that young people, Gen Zs, have their own way of doing things, they are not conventional. And then we have the timeless principles of discipline, of structure, of order. We would like to hear from you your own experience. One, where there is passion and talent, is it true that people who are talented are usually rebellious? Is there a place for discipline? What is the misconception around? You know, we've even seen all those taglines, free as a bird, take me as I am. I don't know, even when you see the adverts these days. So bring us home onto how Gen Zs or young innovators are able to deliver with a non-conventional work ethic. From your own experience, working with them all these years.
Yes, thank you so much. Working with Gen Z is hard, Naza. You're Gen Z, and I know what you go through. So, because you really have a lot of things going in your background, and your traits, your character, and how you do things. You believe you can execute maybe better when you're working remotely, yet the employer wants you to be at work at 7. And you say, okay, even if I come there or when I deliver from home, I deliver my best. But like you said, there are those work ethics, discipline, integrity, respect, and all this. Team building, team building and how to work with teams and how to execute work as a group. So, but young people, I believe this is one of the greatest challenges, because I've gotten many employers saying, you young people, you're hard to deal with, you're hard to work with, because they know the ego, all these trends that don't leave us behind. So we really find it hard to be in the workspaces with the millennials. But I think what young people should do at this moment is to see how they can fit into this ecosystem and know the principles of work.
The timeless, tried and tested principles
of work. These are constant, and you can never dodge them, regardless of how the industry trends come and go. Because I think COVID introduced us to one thing that I think we are stuck with, of how someone can execute work at their own time, at their own pace, not necessarily being at the workplace. And now this thing has also affected so much on our work ethic. A young person would prefer not turning up at office, maybe, if there is nothing so much serious. Will not consider maybe waking up early because he knows the work he can do, he will do it in 1 hour or something like that. But the constant work ethics that we need to instill in young people, it's something that is going to move us into all these spaces and the growth, because those are constant. And if you're into the workspace, you really need to have those. You need to keep time, you need to
speak well, write well.
Yes, and you know
Do you know I can't read a text with those BRBs and GFK and
I'm glad you don't take it.
And people are incorporating them in emails.
Yes, yes.
So is Bakash, especially that you're a media foundation, are you taking the time to teach the soft skills, the people skills outside innovation and talent? Because talented people normally fall short in, they see in one dimension.
Yes, yes. Actually, I think they don't consider that. They don't consider that relevant. The writing, or like you said, their writing skills, and you find even many young people among us, they don't know how even to write proper CVs.
A proper email, a professional email.
They don't know, they believe that doesn't matter. They just need to do the work and go. I mean, I don't know why we're adopting to that, but the constant timely work ethics. Those have to really be adopted, and you cannot go away.
Run away from them.
Yes.
I am glad that we are using this forum to just reiterate the importance of the timeless principles.
Yeah.
That as we innovate from idea generation to action, we should not throw away.
Yes.
And Bakash, the baddest, boldest dreamer from Nakaseke, has also confirmed that some things still have value. We are running short of time very quickly, and we'll have maybe 1 or 2 questions. Thank you for staying with us up to this point. This is Fidelis Leadership Institute Fat Talks, coming to you every Thursday on Smart 24, on YouTube and on our X Spaces. We have conversations that matter and have interesting, insightful conversations in this space. As we get into the last part with Isaac, we are going to demystify a few things.
Okay.
Should it be about you? Should it be about Bakash, the empire, or the topic? Let me be nice. What are we demystifying? All the three.
See how you host, so
Let's start with the easy one.
Okay.
Let's just demystify the topic. It is generally believed that Gen Zs, the generation, they call it bubblegum, microwave. Why do you think that is the conception, a misconception? And what from your bubblegum generation, they want things very quickly, they want them yesterday, they really don't have time to develop and grow. What is the relevance? Is it a good thing to just be on your feet? Is there a value in taking time to grow and develop a product?
Yes. You know, you really actually have the answer. Like how you defined it, bubblegum and all that.
And the microwave.
Yes. So one of the things that maybe young people are facing now, we are so impatient, and even it cuts across in everything we are doing. Even if it was generating maybe wealth or building networks or doing anything, everything takes time. Everything that is going to stay for long, it has to take time in the time of generation. I always reflect back on how our parents made it, them being illiterate, but they took a step at a time. They trusted the process. But as a young person, you've created your organization or your company today, and you want to jump the process and really hit your targets. Yes, it's good to really dream big and to run fast, but if you don't take these initial stages, probably you'll collapse in no time, because building systems, building structures, and all the networks takes time. And for example, the networks we've built at Bakash Media Foundation for the last 4 or 5 years, we are still stuck with them because it has been a process. I'll meet you today in Nanza, tell you my idea. We're into mentorship, career guidance, and skill development. We help young people to achieve their dreams in the career world. You'll say, okay, yes, interesting, nice. I want to host you to talk to our community. You'll agree and come. Then what after? Then what after? You move on, because you get like 100 of those. But building something sustainable takes time. Someone really has to see that, okay, you're not using them. You're not just leveraging on their brand to grow yours. However much you may be doing so, but it has to be a two-way. How are you benefiting them as well? However much they're coming to share their knowledge and their experience with the audience, but how are they benefiting from you? How are you of value? So creating that, Nanza, honestly, it has to take time.
It takes time.
It takes time. Otherwise, you run around with these people, have them, interest them in your idea, and after you will not see them again.
And that's exactly what is going to help us wind up this conversation with another demystification. Now I'm coming for you.
Okay.
Permission to shoot?
So I hope it's not that.
No, you won't die. It is a rubber bullet. Anyway, when you came in and we were having a banter before the cameras got on, I said, hello, how are you? And we were just catching up. And you said, hustle. And I'm like, but you're not a hustler. So I'm like, this is an influencer, a glorified influencer. So are you a hustler? Are you an influencer? Are you a Miribi? Are you faking it till you make it? Because honestly, on a serious note, this social media paints a rosy picture.
Yes.
So can you help us? Is Bakash an influencer? Are you a hustler? Is there a difference? That should be easy.
I'm not an influencer. Okay. I don't know, there are many types of influencing, but I think I'm a hustler. Looking at the 4-5 years that we have run Bakash Media Foundation, I've not done any kind of employment. I've not been into employment apart from the work I do with certain entities like universities, but I've been a hustler, and how I've survived in this Kampala, I think, is because of what Bakash Media is doing. Typically, the networks we've created, it's what is helping me to survive. So I think I'm a hustler. Influencing, yes, I don't know how I can define that, but I think the brand we've created, or I have created over time, it influences.
It influences
yes,
for social impact.
For social impact. So, because I'm not a digital influencer, I may say, but I influence, I bring together communities for change, for impact. And that's how I think I've been able, because the brand we've built, or I have built personally, helps to bring young people together. Not only young people, industry leaders, people from all sectors to come and solve challenges and get solutions for our day-to-day challenges. For example, if we are talking about youth unemployment, which we are tackling at Bakash Media, the brand I've created over time, if I call maybe for a training or for an event, definitely people have to come, because that's what they know me for. That's the brand I've created. That's the line I've been into since they got to know me. And they knew me because of that. Career guidance, mentorship, and skill development. So indirectly, I'm influencing people for impact.
So you are a hustling influencer. In a good way.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
You're
Bakash.
welcome.
It's always a pleasure having you. Time is never enough.
Yeah.
And thank
I'm
you.
part of Fidelis.
Yes, I was just about to say that Bakash Media and Fidelis are in partnership to offer everything: skills development, training, career development. So dear listeners and viewers, we have come to the end of this conversation on TV, but the conversation will continue on our social media spaces, on our websites. Please reach out to us. Let's support you. Let's have conversations. Let's build social entrepreneurship. Let's build partnerships and work together with people that Bakash has networked with, MasterCard, and then we will be able to turn our ideas into actions. We have said time and time again on this show, there is no shortage of ideas, but seeing them to full growth. Thank you once again. You've been a great audience. Thank you, Isaac. Your parting shots quickly, and then we say goodbye to our listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much, first Naza, for fostering this discussion. It's always a pleasure being part of Fidelis. Fidelis is a great community. I believe we share objectives, because you're nurturing young, not only young people, but you're nurturing the community into leadership, knowing the core values of leadership and bringing the leaders of tomorrow now. So I think what you're doing is great through your programs, the fellowship, and these talks. It's something that we really subscribe to, and as Bakash Media, we're always proud to be part of your community. And I think to the leaders like Fiona Wall, who started this, and the entire team, it's really great what you guys are doing. And we shall be here to work with you and get also guidance and from you. And we are glad. And as Bakash Media Foundation, look out for our work on our platforms, Twitter, on our website. You can put in Bakash Media Foundation and you'll see the work we are trying to do, the impact, what we have done so far. If you want to get in touch with us, you will do the same on our website. But thank you so much. Shout out to all the people we work with, Bruno, Tash, everyone who's tuning in this afternoon. Thank you so much for being part of this awesome conversation.
Thank you very much, Isaac. We have come to the end of this show. The baddest, boldest dreamer from Nakaseke has wrapped it up. And from Fidelis Leadership Institute, we wish you a great evening and see you next Thursday for other conversations that matter. Have a great week. Bye.